progress on the driveway. Cut out this much today, and basically all of this here. Oh, little by little. Since I need this wheelbarrow, I'm going to wall up this side. I tried growing plants here last year, and part of them grew, but as they died at the end of the year, it's not holding together. So I think this sod should work, as I'm using it everywhere else. I believe this should contain. Here, now I have a clean edge. No more erosion. Here my first asparagus are popping out. I'm gonna cover them up with ground like I already have here, so that they stay whiter, and I heard that's what you're supposed to do the second year. This I'm gonna prepare into the fennel bed, since the ground is a lot moister here, and it should require less watering, I hope. So I covered all the existing asparagus beds. Now I'm gonna make a new one for the new seedlings that popped out. So here I got some chicken manure from the neighbor on top, and I'm double digging and adding this as a base layer, and adding some good soil from the ditch over there. So it's supposed to rain tomorrow, so I figured today is a good day to knock this out. Got my asparagus and my fennel. I also brought some perlite. I realize it's not as useful for mixing the soil blocks. However, this soil is very loamy, and I think it will help out with the aeration. So I plan to mix this into here. Here I just planted 16 fennel, and I ran out of fennel, so with planted an asparagus here, since I've got these left over. And here there's 3 asparagus and 4 asparagus here. I figure wildlife might get to them, so I planted them twice as packed as they normally would be. And I'm going to dig the rest out either tomorrow or another day. So much work digging. First I'm planting the licorice that I kept in warm water for a day. It seems it broke out of its shell. Got 3 of them here. So I just nabbed some timber from Rigo that he wasn't going to use. I want to make a more convenient well top that's also stable, and that would allow me to use a bucket if something were to happen to the pump. I found a routine for me that really works well is every morning in my diary I write down my intentions for what I hope to get done that day, and I try not to make it too much work, so like more than a full day's worth, but at least that much. And then when I get that much done, I can work on whatever I want for the rest of the day. I can go for a jog, or right now I want to do something creative. So I'm gonna take apart, I'm gonna play around with here, see what comes of it. So I emptied all the fruit trees. I think I screwed them up once I planted them, so if they sprout I will look it up later. Until then, I'm gonna plant these with beans and more beans. I just made a ton of soil blocks here, and these 14. Bean time! Everything is planted. There's 22 Supreme Nano here, 30 Purple Queens, there's 20 Lingua di Fuoco, and here's 14 of these that I got from Catalonia. Don't know what they are, but these took a lot longer because apparently they're supposed to be planted 4 centimeters or 1.5 inches deep, and these don't go that deep, so I mounded the remaining soil on top to make a mound, and hopefully that works. Today is the first day it rained in a long time, and it rained several centimeters. My table and stuff is all covered with water, and all of my jugs are full. Here's what it looks like as it's getting ready to grow very rapidly. I'm really curious to see if anything will start growing from either the radishes or the collards. Now, afterwards, there's still some seeds sticking out, which I'm just gonna tuck in. Oh, there's actually worms going through my land. Oh, that's rare for here. That means my soil is improving. Well, I did just chuck the soil over, but I'm thinking of how it takes many years to develop soil and how this is very crappy soil on my land. And I'm reallocating it and trying to add on layer by layer over the years. I imagine it'll get easier to grow stuff over the years as I do this. This year, I'm continuing this experiment of this is a side that I'm not touching. This is the side where I removed all of these because they're allelopathic. And then I removed everything that's like a grass. So anything trying to grow up here, I want to see if the wild strawberries and everything else will flourish. But it must be very happy after this rain because it can go full steam. And then I've got some mints from last year. I counted 15 of them yesterday. I need an outdoor way of labeling where I planted what, especially when I do polycultures, because I see these small things growing, and I don't know if you're... garlic. It could be anything. Otherwise, I know I have sorrel from underneath here. There's all these seeds I threw down last year, and this could be any of them popping out because it had very shitty soil until I added cow manure and compost on top. Otherwise, I'm waiting for beets, and I forgot what else I planted. And here I think I'm getting my first kale. These, pretty sure are the kales. I don't know what these are. There's an update on the garlic, the cloves that I stuck in the ground in the hay before leaving last year. They're very happy from this rain. Some of them either got attacked or aren't doing so well. But yeah, I think you're a goner now. But the rest of them, it's like a 85% success rate doing this method. No progress on here since yesterday, but just getting a view after a heavy rain. I think some of my plum trees are already making it through. There's some of them, like this one, which haven't let any leaves out. He might be a goner. However, you've let your leaves out. And so have you. After this heavy rain, they must be so happy. I just dug some holes in 3 areas to do a soil sample. So here is the first sample. There's about 1 centimeter of the compost. And then it gets to this lighter sand. Sample B. It gets, I think I went even deeper on this one. Gets lighter, but here it's very, very orange. And it's a pretty thick top layer. The last sample. Here, this woody area. And yeah, there's not so much of that thick compost. The top layer is that big. Then it gets to the C layer, and there's lots of stones in this area. This morning, I already dug out the last hole, the bed for 4 more asparagus. And I'm going back to Vilnius today, so I'm going to work more on the driveway. I'm going to cut down a Christmas tree, whatever they're called, tannin, so that next week Rigodas and I can inoculate a mushroom. Here's the new bed I prepared this morning. Well, I was out picking nettle, so I've already added manure underneath and more perlite mixed in with some topsoil from here and some loamy soil from the ditch. There, they're closely packed. Altogether, I've got 12 asparagus planted among here just from this year, and then 6 that will be producing shoots from last year, which I can eat this year. What I want to do here is get some inoculated straw to inoculate the Hugel kultur right by where the house will be. So just get a little bit, cover you back up. You need a water. Likewise, I'm gonna get some of this yellow oyster and try to inoculate the other end and see if anything comes of it. And cover you back up. I stuck the wine cap mushroom in here and then made a little opening here where I stuck the yellow oyster. So it's an experiment to see if it'll take over this mound. It'd be nice to get mushrooms here. Little by little. This next when I return, I'm gonna finish this stretch to connect the two. Okay, so maybe like a day and a half left. Yeah. First watermelon are sprouting. Since the 30th planted, the first peas are sprouting. And 2 tomatoes out. And tomatillo, I don't know what the difference between the second and third rows are. And finally, the first mammoth pea is sprouting. Everything's watered. I'm on my way back to Venus.